Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. Website is liminal11.com. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you want to check it out. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website in the back of this is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Okay. Fair warning. Cats all zippy trippy for some reason. Hopefully that's not going to be distracting. Okay, I'm going to start this off saying that this does work out in your favor at the end. On the way there, it might get a little bumpy. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm more upset for somebody else. I feel like your energy's like, I feel bad for them. Like, I don't like how that turned out for them. But you did the best you could with it. Something is changing. I keep feeling like I'm viewing somebody else, and they've got this Ten of Swords. Somebody else is going through it, and they're going through it very... I feel like, how is it for you? I think you've tried to help. And you've tried to give you've tried to help. If you tried to give advice, I know they're holding back. I feel like you know that. They're holding something back, and I tried to work with them on this, whatever it is, but they're holding something back, and there's only so much you can do if they're holding back. It's not that you don't want to help. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think it's you really do want to help, but it's kind of like you can't force people to, at least you can't force them to tell you what's even going on. If they're, it's like I know this picture isn't complete, and I keep looking at it, and I'm like, I know this picture isn't complete. It's kind of like looking at a piece of art, but it looks kind of like a coloring book page. It's kind of like they got the shapes mapped out, they got basic colors all over the place here, but they're not. It's not developed. You know what I mean? It's like looking at a coloring book page. Like, it's all colored. There's all the base colors are all there, but it's like it hasn't been developed. There's no dimension to it. There's no shading. There's no patterns. It's just not. It's not developed. It's very basic. And you're like, all right, they're telling me what they have to tell me, but they're not telling me what I need to actually help them. Remember that, because I feel like that's a big part of this. They're not giving you enough information. They're also not willing to change. That's one of the reasons they're not telling you things, because I feel like they know that something isn't right here, and the way to fix what's not right is to accept change. These are the challenge cards, both of these. Things are about to fall apart. They need to deconstruct what they're doing. The Four of Wands to me is a contract usually, but I feel like when I'm seeing this, ironically, I see it's like the contract is either going to be broken or needs to be broken. Logan, hey! Logan! Okay. One moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so they have to accept that things are going to change. They don't want things to change. What are you actively doing here? What are you actively doing here? Let's find out. Because I get the Seven of Pentacles, and I'll show you that in a second, but there's also the Threshold card here, which is telling me something's about to change. The Lover's card, which can be about multiple possibilities, and the Ace of Swords. The Lover's card is a very interesting card, in my opinion, especially because it's in the tarot. It denotes. I don't want demote. I want denote. Gemini energy, which you are compatible with, typically. Your air, their air, usually. Everybody's chart's a little different, so not always, but typically just those base two signs are compatible. They tend to get along. You're showing possibilities to this person. You could show possibilities. You are reaching out. You're trying to. I do feel like this is going to fall apart. Like I see the Tower card, and I don't want to play like it's not there. It's definitely there. This is going to fall apart for them. Well, I feel like I don't want this to be like painful for you, but I feel like it will be. There's only so much I can do with this. I feel like you have to wait for it to fall apart. I don't want to do it. I feel like you're standing in a position where you're like, I feel like I'm looking at this like, we don't have to do this. We don't have to have a Tower moment. I feel like that's how you're looking at this. Like, it doesn't have to be that bad. If they just work with me now, we can accept things now, and it can be much better, much more comfortable for them, for you. But at the same time, if they're refusing to work with you, if they're refusing to tell you what's going on, because they're keeping you on the outside, I think I've already mentioned this, they got the Five of Pentacles. They're not telling you things they need to tell you. This didn't have to get this rough. Hopefully you're not feeling bad about this. I feel like some of you will for some reason. Kind of like, I wish I'd asked that question, or I wish I had found a way to get them to tell me something. That's not your fault. I don't feel like you should feel bad about that. I feel like I'm not about really anybody feeling bad about it, to tell you the truth. But if they kind of see it, I feel like after the fact, we want to have a talk about this. Kind of like, just highlighting to them, if you had known certain things, things could have gone differently. Not in the sense of making anybody feel bad, but just like a reference, kind of like, okay, had I opened up a little bit more, had I talked about things a little bit more, different possibilities would have been in front of me. Just to realize that. Not about making people feel bad, but kind of trying to empower people. Like, hey, we don't know these things unless we go through the school of hard knocks, and sometimes when we go that way, it's that much more powerful of a lesson. Doesn't mean it had to be that way, but now that we did, now that it's happened, maybe we can try to do the half full thing. Maybe. Because whatever's going on for this person, big change. Big change. There is a third party, too. Do we like this? I don't know if we like this. That seems to be coming at the person who was not willing to change. Okay, hold on. I don't know if I like this. Because I don't think we need to make anybody feel bad about this. Temperance, and then the Page of Swords with the Prince of Swords. Okay, so I really don't think we need to make this person feel bad about this, right? What I do want to say, this person who didn't want to change, the Tower moment hit, it was not fun. Yes, if they had communicated, things would have been different. I feel like that's there. But we also want to highlight their strengths. The fact that they hold to something and they don't like to change, when that's in a situation where, you know, we're keeping things stable, we're keeping things lucrative, we're keeping things positive, when it's in a good place, when it's used properly, that can create a stability that's great, that's very warranted. This is a quality that's not a bad quality. It's just like realizing that it's not, whatever quality it is, it's not always going to serve people. It's kind of like, yes, they're very stable. When it's in a good place, excellent. When it's in a place where it's not working to their advantage, it's kind of like, instead of calling it stability, we're calling it stubbornness. Same quality, it's just how it's being applied. It's kind of like communication. Sometimes we over-communicate, sometimes we under-communicate. Sometimes we need to over-communicate so information gets out there. Sometimes we need to under-communicate so we don't upset people needlessly. It's just like, it's the same thing, it's just how it's being applied. It's kind of same with this person coming in. They're very about action is what I'm getting here. Sometimes a lot of action, a lot of random action helps something at least unstick it. Sometimes a lot of random action helps unstick a situation that's stuck. Sometimes a lot of random action creates a lot of waste. So it's like, same thing. I feel like this is like what they're trying to bring forward. Like, this is a point to like celebrate somebody's attributes in a positive way, and to not make them feel bad that they were unable to move. trying to empower them, kind of like, this is your attribute, this is what you're good at, but if you communicate with me, I understand that you don't like change, but I'll try to bring you at least, like if something is starting to dive or start to go bad, we can talk about it before it crashes. That way we don't end up seeing something into the bitter end. We start pulling up before it gets there. And it's kind of like celebrating this person for their attributes, realizing that's a trait that does serve them most of the time. Not in this situation, not this time around, but most of the time. And celebrating that helps them maybe trust you more and get them to help them communicate with you more. Kind of like, all right, Earth person, we're going to call them Earth person. They don't have to be. It doesn't mean you're dealing with an Earth sign, but Earth person, listen, I understand you don't like change, so I'm going to look out for you and I'm going to help you keep things where they are if applicable. But if it looks like it's not going to work out in your favor, I'm going to also help look out for you and help you see things before they get really bad. You seem to be creating this rapport and this respect, kind of like, listen, I understand how you work. You don't like that change. You don't like that to happen. But if you work with me, I'll look out for you, and if it can stay the way it is, I'll help you keep it where it is. If it looks like it's going to crash and burn, I'll try to get you out of that burning plane before it happens. If you celebrate the attributes here, they will trust you more and communication goes better. If this other person, there's this third party that I feel like is kind of like beating them down a little bit and is kind of being a little bit hard, a little bit rough, unnecessarily, because it's not helping things to be that way in this situation. It's just making this person feel bad, and it's kind of making them close in more, ironically. It doesn't improve the cycle. It doesn't improve the pattern. It doesn't improve it at all from what I'm seeing. Your energy, Libra tends to be more diplomatic, trying to talk it out, trying to understand it, trying to be like, not so much like you did wrong, but kind of like, oh, let's play it out. I understand why you did that. I understand why you felt that way. And I understand your value system. If we can just communicate better in the future, maybe we can do different things in the future. Just kind of like lessening that energy. It already happened. They already know it kind of didn't go that well. They already know this. But trying to kind of like, hey, this happens once in a while. Next time it comes around, maybe if we communicate better, we can do better. I feel like you're helping them pull up out of like a negative moment, and kind of like seeing their attributes is bringing that energy up and helping them move on from a failure. This will happen again. Next time around, we want them to communicate. We want them to literally ask for help. Next time around, we could have the Sun card. This will repeat. Whatever this is, this will repeat. We're trying to set it up so that the next time it does repeat, we're doing good. That's what this feels like it's about to me. It feels like it's like setting this up for the next time around. When you come to this reading, maybe it's already failed. I feel like maybe it already has. Building a rapport with this person, getting them to accept who they are, and getting them to accept you more, that's what's going to make this change. That's what's going to make this evolve. That's what's going to get this go to the next level. They are who they are. The fact that they don't want to change, I wouldn't say is a bad thing. It's all about how it's applied, you know? So if they can trust you more rapport with you, it not only makes things better for them, but I feel like there's definitely something good here for you. I think it depends on how you're looking at it. If this reading is hitting, I feel like you're going to know how that improves things for you, so I'm not going to over worry about it. Okay. So I think that's good. Whatever this is, I think we want to evolve this from the way things are going, and we want to get this into a better connection with you and them. This seems like that's how that's going to happen. We also, I don't need to drag this out, but we want to kind of like nullify this or kind of mute that out. Whoever this third party is, if we can kind of, go away, like go away. If we can just get them to go away. I don't know how you're going to do that, but I feel like if you have the ability to do so, or you can distract them or keep them away from this person or keep their influence at least backed off. Maybe you have the option to, like, maybe this is a manager thing. Maybe you're a manager. Maybe they're a manager, and you're kind of like, let me handle this. That would be better. If you can just kind of get them to go away. If that's possible. I think we're there. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.